Late night TV is a goldmine of great content. From best moments to cringiest moments, you're sure to find something good from those clips. But sometimes, the most entertaining parts of late night TV can be the most detrimental to some celebs. The worst of the worst come from botched interviews and seem to never die. Today we're going to take a look at those moments as we explore the top 10 late night interviews that destroyed a celebrity's career right now on Top 10 Beyond the Screen. What is up, my dudes? I'm your host Bree Room, back at it again with the white vans, and welcome back to the channel. And if you want to see more content like this, check out this playlist to quench your thirst for some awesome YouTube content. Today we're talking about late night interviews that went awry. The moments that were cemented into a celebrity's legacy forever, the cringe that started it all. Buckle your seatbelts, kids, and let's get started. At number 10 we have the Joker interview. Now I know this interview didn't take place in real life, but it was a late night show, so go with me on this one. For those who've never seen the movie, first of all, go watch it. Secondly, spoiler alert. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about the late night zinger at the end of the movie. The movie's protagonist Arthur is absolutely obsessed with the late night talk show, The Murray Franklin Show, so when he gets the opportunity to be on the show after making waves in a comedy club, he's thrilled. Maybe a little too thrilled. He then hatches a plan to do a stand-up act for Murray, and the punchline really makes your heart stop. Once he gets his shining moment on stage, he pulls his punchline and a gun? He shoots Murray and chaos ensues. Now that's what I call ruining a career, am I right? I'm not funny. In at number 9, LILLY SINGH. Last year, YouTube sensation LILLY SINGH debuted her new late night talk show, A Little Late with Lily. But just 2 weeks after the premiere, Lily was already facing backlash, forcing her to apologize for a joke that she made on the show. One of Lily's first guests, Jessica Alba, shared images of her kids where Lily decided to make a jab after seeing the children with towels on their head, saying, quote, "Don't worry, it's just like my Punjabi friends," end quote. This joke was in reference to the towels looking like turbans. When Lily's fans expressed their concern with the joke, she stated that Alba's appearance was the first tape, so her nervous energy must have led to bad improv. This started a downward spiral as the show's ratings started to plummet, and not much traction has picked up since then. Coming in hot at 8, Courtney Love on Letterman. When singer-songwriter Courtney Love appeared on Letterman in 2004, her interview would be one for the ages. In her most unforgettable interview, Courtney Love famously pulled up her shirt and flashed the late night host. When asked years later why she did it, her response was that she was inspired when Drew Barrymore had done it on the same show. She said, quote, "Drew Barrymore had done it when she was 19, and I was so out of my mind when I did it, I thought I was 19, but I was actually 39. End quote. Love also gives reference to her Letterman days when she would pull all kinds of stunts for attention, mainly due to her drug abuse and mental health relapses. Watching clips of her Letterman days interviews honestly makes me so sad to see her in such a state. She has really grown since then after getting the help that she needs. Courtney voices her struggles with her past and how it damaged her image in the process. I just hope that she can stay in a good place. In at 7, Jim Cramer. CNBC host Jim Cramer appeared on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart in March 2009. He was set to appear on the talk show after days of continuous, highly publicized criticism of the CNBC network by Jon over Wall Street greed and the CNBC's role in glorifying it. This feud came about shortly after the market crash of 2008 in the US. Stewart criticized Jim and CNBC because he claimed that instead of investigating the crash like they were obligated to as journalists, the network simply took any information given to them and blew up the story. Stewart found that to be a disservice to the people, especially after the economic collapse that affected so many others. Throughout the interview, Stewart proceeded to rip on Cramer, and honestly, I don't blame him. Investigative journalism is supposed to uncover the truth, but instead the network dropped the ball and led to no one blowing the whistle on the situation, resulting in the economic disaster. In an interview in 2011, Cramer revealed that the words exchanged during the interview still hurt him. This hurt his career as a reliable journalist, so I guess he's been served a slice of humble pie. Number 6, David Letterman and Joe HALDERMAN. In 2009 on his late night talk show, David Letterman got real with his audience. He revealed to the public that he had been involved in affairs with some coworkers and that he'd been a part of a $2 million blackmail scheme. A whole $2 million, people. Do you know how many chicky nugs you can buy with that? He told audiences that if he didn't pay up, his blackmailer would reveal his secrets to the public. But rather than get swallowed up in the scandal, he faced it head on. This subsequently led investigators to arrest former CBS News producer Joe HALDERMAN for attempted extortion of David Letterman. Joe's reputation took a big hit after his arrest and incarceration, but at least now we know, don't mess with David Letterman. For number 5, we have Madonna on Letterman. Pop icon Madonna Madonna made waves during her 1994 interview with David Letterman. As she was introduced to the show, Letterman made some crass remarks at her and made some sexualized jokes about her. Madonna was not having it, no sir, no ma'am. Instead, she decided to retaliate against Letterman in the interview, where she proceeded to drop some landfill-worthy language amounting to a grand total of 14 F-bombs. 14! The pop singer also made some crass remarks about Letterman towards the audience, saying things like, "I gave him a pair of my underpants and he won't smell them." Ew? On top of that, Madonna stayed on well after her time slot was supposed to end, resulting in producers having to bump the other guest slots. I guess that when Madonna gets petty, she gets petty. This controversial interview led to several FCC complaints and some harsh words by Entertainment Weekly being thrown her way, and the whole kerfuffle knocked her down a few pegs. Many people thought that Madonna's career was deader than dead after that stunt, but miraculously, she found her way out of the rubble and tried to forget about the ordeal moving forward. In at 4, Andy Dick on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Andy Dick and Ivanka Trump were guests on Jimmy Kimmel Live back in 2007. During the interview, Andy was being a bit of a and getting a little too friendly with Ivanka as he was seen creepily touching her body. It even got so bad to the point where Kimmel had to tell him to stop and even get up from his chair in an effort to stop him from touching her. All of this to no avail because he just wouldn't stop. Mr. Dick, fitting name, right, was later escorted from the interview by members of security because he just wouldn't stop harassing Ivanka. Now, if you know anything about Andy Dick, then you know he's infamous for assault allegations and even jail time as a result. This interview was just one of the many instances of assault that follows him to this day. Needless to say, he's got a poor reputation. Coming in close at number 3, Joaquin Phoenix on Letterman. The Joker actor tried to play his own joke on the Letterman show back in 2009. Joaquin acted his way through the interview, trying to give off a dazed sort of image. During his time on the late night show, audiences watched as Phoenix acted loopy and out of it as he stumbled over his words and just straight up looked like he took too much NyQuil and tried to fight sleep, you know? Anyway, he just ended up looking straight cringy. Joaquin has since apologized to Letterman for his strange bit, but that interview dented his image a bit, and has stuck with him ever since. Almost at the end of number 2, Crispin Glover on Letterman. The Back to the Future actor became infamous for his little stunt on the Letterman late night show back in 1987. He was invited onto the show to promote his newest film, River's Edge, but upon appearing for his interview, things sort of went sideways. Dressed in a wig, hippie pants, and platform shoes, Glover babbled on, reading clips about himself from the newspaper, and rambling on nonsensically, and even getting aggressive almost to the point of him kicking Letterman in the face. No one knows for sure if the whole show was just a bit, or if he was high on more of that coveted no snow. But one thing's for certain, it was hella entertaining to watch. Coming to a close at number 1, Farrah Fawcett on Letterman. In 1997, Charlie's Angels star Farrah Fawcett took audience members on a wild ride during her interview on the Letterman show. The actress seemed really out of it during the whole interview. Throughout her time on the show, Fawcett was stumbling over her words, being incoherent at times, and even telling very lengthy stories that mostly didn't make much sense. To make things worse for the famed celebrity, she didn't even understand when Letterman was making jabs at her. It honestly didn't look like she was paying much attention to what was happening around her. Many people suspected that she was high during the interview, but one thing's for sure, her character was never the same after that. And there we have it, guys, the top 10 late night interviews that destroyed a celebrity's career. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I've come to the conclusion that the worst celebrity moments happened on Letterman because, oh my goodness, maybe it's a curse or something. Let me know down in the comments any more late night moments that you wish I had mentioned. While you're down there, hit like and subscribe to the channel for more awesomeness. That's all I've got for you guys today. Stay groovy, friends.